Yeah, started recording. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining today. My intention today is to give you some background about the threats, cybersecurity threats that are happening on a daily basis to businesses. They can attack homes as well. So I'm sure your office workplace might be training you on how to be safe at office. I'm going to be talking about a few points that you can do at home to secure your computing environment at home. So when I say computing environment, it is larger than just your computers. I'm going to be talking about smart home devices, cars, and everything, right? So feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions as we go along. So it is an interactive session. Right. So first I'm going to start talking about cyber threats. So what are all the different threats that we have to be aware of? And then I have 4 sections, right? So basically I will start talking about computers and internet at home, your laptops, your mobiles, your browsers, how to secure passwords, how to check whether your password has been breached, identity theft, and so on. So that will be a first section. Then the second section will be on smart homes, right? So we have so many IoT devices, so which is the Internet of Things, right? So I'll be talking about those devices and also smart speakers like Alexa and so on, and also how to secure your router, right? So your Wi-Fi router at home, that is extremely important to secure. So I'll be talking about that in section 2. And section 3 is about cars and automobiles, right? So you must be reading that currently there is a huge chip shortage causing problems with automobiles, because automobiles is basically mobile computers, right? So much of computing power each car has, right? So you want to be aware of the security aspects of the cars as well. And when I talk about security, the biggest thing that you can do is to turn on the multi-factor or two-factor authentication for almost everything, right? So because these days passwords are totally insecure, right? So you might click on some link, you might type your password, phishing, we'll be talking about phishing and so on. Or you might download some software like a password stealer or something, which will steal. I am encountering this all the time, right? So not for myself, but for others, right? So I know these are all the things which are happening. And the best way to protect against that, even if you lose your password, you don't want somebody to take out your account. That is why two-factor is important. So I'll be briefly talking about that towards the end also. That is more like an appendix, but I am giving you how to activate two-factor in different environments. So these are the 4 sections, right? So today, depending on the questions, we can either complete the whole thing, or at least I want to cover the first section, computer and internet security, right? So any questions so far?
Nari, just one clear in the section 2 IoT devices, you will be covering ring and other thing, device security also, or just
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
yeah, I will be covering some of them, but not all the devices, but
Yeah.
some of them, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, if you are not asking question, please go on mute. Okay. So what are all the cyber threats at home, right? So we know about the cyber threats in office, right? People can get into intellectual property, they can steal personal information and so on, right? So all those threats are there at home also, but in a different context. So one of the things I'm going to be talking about is smart devices, right? So smart devices, your fridges, your TVs, they all come with networking, right? So that means if you are not securing them, people can take over that and use those, like even a washing machine can be hacked, and they can use that to get into your network and steal information from your computer. Or there was a recent incident where they connected a lot of devices like fridges and so on, smart fridges, and they were mining crypto coins, right? So they were mining crypto coins, and they were using that combined power to attack other companies, right? So all those things you want to be careful to protect from, right? So the second one is Wi-Fi, right? So everybody has a Wi-Fi. Probably it comes with Fios or Comcast or something like that, and then you just plug it in and use it, right? So you are not worried about the security, but you have to be, right? Otherwise they can get into the Wi-Fi network and then take over all your computers and so on. I think everybody knows virus and malware, right? So there are so many different varieties of viruses, like Trojans, right? Spyware, all those things are there. And one of the most prevalent malware or virus currently is ransomware, right? So ransomware, that has got a special attention, right? Because there is so much press about ransomware these days, and you have to protect your data against that as well. And you all these things can allow the bad guys to get into your network or to your home network. They might steal your personal data. They might copy even your work data if you are using a work PC at home, right? So all the data loss potential is there. And fraud is something which is very common. And you may be watchful about emails and phone calls. I'm sure people call, and if you pick up the phone, they will finally ask for social security number or your credit card number. They will talk very nicely. I'm talking about from the IRS and so on, right? So I have had calls like that. Loss of privacy, obviously, if you lose your data, you lose privacy as well. Or even when you're browsing, right? When you're browsing, you want to be careful that the companies don't have all your information, right? So that is also will be something we'll be talking about. And smart car, right? So those are the connected cars. Cars are connected to so many things, and cars also have powerful computers, and so we have to make sure that they are protected as well. And ultimately identity theft as well, right? So that is also a somewhat related problem. It can be cyber related, it can be others also, but that is something you have to be careful about as well, right? So we'll be talking about how to protect against all these things during today's presentation. Okay, we will any questions? Okay, so let us get started with the first section, which is the computer and internet security. So when you think about computers and internet, one of the first major application is email, right? So email is a huge vector for bad guys to attack you, right? Of course, spam, you get spam all the time, right? So unsolicited marketing email. So spam, the definition means unsolicited marketing email, right? So it can be malicious, it may not be malicious. Most of them are not malicious. If they are malicious, then we call that a phishing email, right? Phishing. So phishing means email sent to steal personal information, password, or to install malware, right? So those are the two common purposes why the guys send you, right? So they want you to click on something, right? When you click on something, then they will install some malware on your computer and they can take over your computer, right? Completely, right? So you have to be ultra careful in clicking in anything. The other possibility is that you might click the link. It might go to some website. It will look exactly like the genuine website, and then you type in your password. Now they have your password. So if you have not activated two-factor authentication, then they can do a lot of bad things about about your accounts, right? And many people have the bad habit of using the same password in multiple websites. So if you lose one password, they will try the same password in all the common websites, and you have to be ultra careful with all those things. We will be talking about how to protect against all these things. So there is a special category of phishing called spear phishing. What they do is phishing, they will send the same email to thousands of people, right? So somebody clicks on it, then they get benefited. Spear phishing, they take more effort, right? They will go to LinkedIn, they will go to Facebook, they will study you, right? And they will see who is your family and so on, and then send you specific email, targeted emails, right? Targeted emails which suits your specific circumstance. That is called spear phishing, right? Using like a spear to fish, right? So it's a targeted phishing is called spear phishing. And one of the other tactics they use is email spoofing. They can use email spoofing in combination with phishing as well. So they will spoof a known contact, right? They will just make one mistake, right? In your name, if there is an I, they will put an L or something so that you don't notice, right? So they will put that and set up a website or set up an email address, and they will contact you. And sometimes more nefarious thing is they have taken over somebody's email themselves. So they know all their contacts, and then they will send you specific targeted email, right? I'm stuck in London, I need money, all those things. I have got several of those, right? So fortunately with two-factor authentication, it is becoming less. But if you don't protect your Gmail or other email with two-factor authentication, it can be easily taken over, and they will know all your contacts, and they can send emails to all the contacts asking for money or help or something, or their personal information, right? So all those things are possible. And wishing means voice phishing, right? Wishing means, so phishing by phone, usually impersonating someone, right? So I'll call as if I am calling from IRS, and your tax, I have some problem with your tax return, I have some questions, let me first verify you, what is your social security number, right? All those things they will start, right? So basically to collect information for identity theft, that is the most usual purpose of wishing, right? So they want some information, they will impersonate somebody else, and they will collect it. Smishing is SMS, right? Like simple messaging system or something. So now nobody calls it SMS, they're calling text, or even WhatsApp chats and so on, right? So they can send you a link, and if you click the link, then it'll load some malware. For example, I'm sure you have read about Pegasus, right? So Pegasus, one of the main vectors of attack was smishing, right? So they were sending text messages, and people click on it, they were immediately infected. And they were sophisticated enough that even some text messages, even if you don't click on it, they were still infecting the system. So that is why that is very, very nefarious thing, right? So Pegasus is huge in India now. If you look at Indian newspapers, the whole page is full of Pegasus. That is basically a smishing attack. And other thing is a QR code. QR code is just linking to your URL. So if it is a malicious URL, right? So you can phish by QR codes as well. So you can say that scan this, and then you are going to that website and you are getting infected. Okay, so these are all some common communication threats. How do you...
Nari, just one question. When you get a call on your phone, and you just accept that call, does that also involve some kind of wishing?
Yeah. So wishing means voice phishing, right? So when you get the call, right? So
Yeah.
that's what it means. Voice, it is just wishing means voice phishing. But I did read that Pegasus, they were infecting people even with voice. I don't know how exactly it works.
Right.
But typically, basically wishing, they will call for collecting personal information.
Nari?
No, even if they don't call, ask you that question, but basically the objective is Pegasus is to install their, that
Install the
software.
spyware. Yeah.
So all you do is you just get a call and you just accept it, and then their malware gets installed into your.
But that is less frequent. Mostly they were propagating by text rather than voice.
Okay.
So Nari,
Yeah.
I think he asked the same question, but say you get a call and you pick up the phone, but don't answer any question. When you pick up the phone, you find out there's nobody out there because most of the
Yeah.
time this call. So the very act of picking up, will that give them a way to get into your system network?
No, no. No,
No.
that is Pegasus claims. I mean, there was some news about Pegasus, but that is very, very rare. There is no easy way of getting by voice. Just pick up, it would not. So, but maybe we can start with this because this is wishing seems to be a popular thing, right? So, what I have done personally, right? I have put everybody in the contacts, whoever will communicate with me, and I have enabled silence unknown callers, right? So if it is a different number, it will not ring. I will still able to see the missed call. They can leave voicemail and anything, right? So this avoids half the frauds. So I strongly recommend you consider enabling silence unknown callers, at least in iPhone. I don't know about Android, how it works. I'm sure there is something similar, right? Silence unknown callers. If it is not in your contacts list, it won't ring, right? So, and other thing is, don't give any personal information on received calls, right? Even if you pick up, they will talk very, very nicely. I mean, these days people are more alert to the junk calls, but still, right? So you don't want to give any personal information. So the silence unknown callers is more effective than installing some robo killers and all those things, right? So I don't know how many times you get calls from unknown, right? If it is,
Nari, this unknown caller, for example, I not my regular doctor. Suppose I want to go to one, I call somebody and told them to call
what
me
I do
back.
is before calling them, I add them to the contacts and then I call them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, there is a risk of losing some important call, but you save a lot of time, right? I'm in a meeting, suddenly I get a call, and so I would recommend that. I mean, obviously it is.
And if it is important, the people will leave the message anyway. If it is important.
Exactly. If it is important, people are going to leave the message, and you will have missed calls also.
Correct.
Okay. So spam is just marketing email, right? So spam, you can do couple of things. You can do either block sender or you can do unsubscribe, right? I would recommend you block sender. I will show you a screenshot of how to do that in Gmail, right? But be ultra careful before clicking unsubscribe, right? You know why? Can anybody say why you should not click unsubscribe?
That itself could be used to capture your information, right? When you click and go forward.
No, or they can download some malware or anything because you are clicking, they are taking you to some website.
Yes, there are a couple of things, right? So one is malicious download possibility. And unless you are 100% sure that it is from the genuine source, right? And you genuinely want to unsubscribe, you can do that. Otherwise, if you get some random email and you say, if you don't want, unsubscribe, very nicely. That is a CAN spam regulation, right? CAN spam regulations from FTC specify that all the marketing emails should have unsubscribe button or link. But if you unsubscribe, sometimes they know that you are actually reading the emails, right? So then they will just change their sender email address and they will start sending you more emails. If you don't respond at all, just block sender, right? Then they don't know that you have blocked them. And it is equivalent, right? Equivalent of unsubscription, except that it doesn't come to you at all. It doesn't come to your inbox. So I would recommend, if for unknown subscriptions, just block sender. Phishing.
Great. Thanks. That's a good idea. Great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you unsubscribe, you're basically confirming to them that you have received the email.
Yeah, exactly. You are a human being and you have received it, and you are reading the emails, everything. You are giving too much information without your knowing it. Exactly. Okay. Phishing. I think this is a very, very basic thing, right? So phishing is very, very popular in attacking, right? So all the ransomware attacks, they start with phishing, because they want to get into your machine first. So they will send you a phishing email, they click on it, and then they download the malware, right? So don't click on any links unless you are expecting it, right? And unless you're expecting the email. So be ultra careful, and then check the URL to match with the text, right? If it says click here to continue, some emails you can see, if you hover the mouse over it like Outlook or something, it tells you what is the URL. So then you can match it. If for Gmail or something, you can right click and see the URL. If you really want to use that, right click and see the URL and see whether it is a genuine URL. It doesn't have any spelling mistakes. It goes to the correct website, and then click on it. And in iPhone, a very light touch provides a preview. So you are not actually going there, but it just provides a preview. You won't get infected, right? A light touch. If you click instead of a clicking. Email spoofing, right? So don't trust emails that specify urgency, right? So generally, the people who are spoofing, like your friends or family or somebody, I need urgently this money, right? So they will always specify urgency because they don't want you to think. They want you to act quickly, right? Act without thinking. So that is, don't trust, always check whether it's office email or personal email. If it says urgency, then there may be something wrong with that. And be suspicious of emails even from known email addresses, as their accounts may have been taken over. If they are asking for money particularly, right? Even if it is coming from your genuine family, right? You can call them and make sure that it is from them before sending them the money, right? We already talked about phishing. Again, yeah, smishing, just basically, if you get an unsolicited text, just ignore it and don't click. There is no such option similar to silence unknown callers for, at least in iPhone. But they do have an option called filter unknown messages, right? And if you go under messages, there will be a filter unknown messages. What it does is, if it is from an unknown contact, it puts it into a separate folder. So it will split your messages into two folders, two sections, known messages and unknown messages. So at least they will split it, and then you don't have, you can go later and look at it. You know that it has come from somebody who is not in your contact list.
Wish,
Yeah.
Wish, you should ask for royalty for that word that they have used, wishing.
Yeah, I know. I thought when Nari talks about fishing or wishing, he will recognize me.
Oh,
He didn't do that.
no, I'm too technically minded. Thanks, Gopi. I didn't think of that at all.
Of that, Larry, but I didn't want to distract you with that conversation.
Yeah, I knew Suresh would have thought of it.
You can believe that, right?
Yeah, these are some examples of spoofing, right?
Yeah,
so here, like Bill Gates at Microsoft.com, you are getting an email, but if you actually look at it, he spoofed the name, where actually it's from somebody else at gmail.com, right? And use of another subdomain. Instead of Microsoft, he might put presidency here, or some other website, microsoft.xyz.com, right? So all these things they use to spoof. And reply to, they can change, right? Or they can put a dash, they can put O instead of 0, all those things, right? Misspelled. Or uncommon domain, Microsoft.top, because nowadays there are so many different domains we can register, right? So I have given an example here. So this is an example of an email I got, right? So if you click on this downward triangle, right? If you click on the downward triangle, this is the Gmail example, right? If you click on that, it tells you detail so that you can completely check. If you're not sure about the email's authenticity, just click on this triangle. So it will give you reply to. So whether the reply to is going to somewhere else, you can check, right? And then You can also, yeah, that is the basic thing you can check here. And you can see whether it is, this is all the emails are encrypted these days. So it doesn't give you more information. But I think the best information you can get is reply to information. And if you get an email you want to block, this is called an ellipsis. If you click on the ellipsis, which is the 3 dots in Gmail, then it gives you all these options. So you can block this email, or you can report a spam or report phishing. So when you say report spam or phishing, right? Spam is just marketing, and report phishing is really malicious. Then it helps Gmail, Google to improve their analysis. So it has obviously gone through their system. They block a lot of spam, right? 85% of all the emails are spam, right? The worldwide 85% is spam. Only 15% is genuine. So if you are getting 100 emails, they have already blocked like almost 1,000 emails, and you are getting only 100 emails. But it has gone through their system. By reporting to phishing, that improves their system.
So Nari, like, I mean, I get a lot of emails and I report the phishing. Now, does Google do anything with it? Google or Microsoft?
Yeah, they will. I mean, they will use it. They might. If a lot of people report phishing, then they will pull it out from everybody, right? So, yeah.
But they can't take any other action.
No, they cannot. I mean, they are constantly enhancing their algorithms, right? So how to detect phishing emails. So this will be useful for them. You won't get any immediate benefit, but it'll help improve their logic.
Right.
Hey, Nari, on Gmail, when I click that down arrow,
Yeah.
I don't see the reply to option. Is that do you have to enable it explicitly somewhere?
Yeah, we will look at it later.
Okay, because I only see from, to, date, and everything else.
Okay, that is interesting.
Actually, one thing I've done, Sridhar, is like when you click on the sender's email, you know, it normally shows the detail of what that full email address is, and you
No,
can.
I get what Nari was saying. Click the down arrow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I see everything except the reply to.
Oh, that's interesting. I have not seen that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So
Nari, what I see is that this iPhone has got this. When you go to mails, you can declare VIP, right? And so only if I know somebody that is the right person and going to send me, then I add it to the VIP person. That declare him as a VIP. Then I only bother about VIP mails. I don't look at other mails at all. So that way, I think it gives a good protection to filter out all other things.
So that is if you are using iPhone mail, yeah. I mean, there are so many different mails have a different thing.
Yeah, but you can put VIP against any of your mails. So you have 10 email accounts. Any one of them you can declare as under VIP. So it will only appear. So the moment I know this person is going to send me email or he is the known person, then I put it under my VIP code, filter.
That's good. Okay, let's move on. Let us move on from email security to laptop security, right? Operating system security, Windows 10 security, right? So I don't know how many of you have gone through this. So basically in the search bar in the bottom left and near the Windows, right? So you type Windows security, you get this screen, right? So this is the screen that you should be looking. You don't have to look now, but you can look later, right? So it has got all the features combined under Windows security, right? So they got like virus and threat protection, account protection, firewall and network protection, app and browser control, device security, all those things, right? So let us look into some of these things, right? And one caveat to virus and threat protection, right? So Windows 10 does come with a built-in antivirus software called Microsoft Defender, right? So that is there in all the versions. So you don't need to buy any other antivirus. But most of the suppliers, they might sell you like a 30-day Norton or McAfee or something, they will load it. If that software is working, Windows Defender will automatically go to sleep, right? So if McAfee or Norton is working, then Defender will go to sleep, and you have to be careful. If that has expired, Defender should automatically come on, but you should check it. So it's better to uninstall that software which has expired, right? If you don't want to pay subscription after 30 days or something, uninstall
But
that
then,
software.
yeah, but then does it also, whenever I want it to says check all my files, does it do that?
Yeah, it has got full capability as an antivirus system.
So are you saying we should not be using other softwares? Like I'm using, what is that? This Best Buy
Norton.
software. No, not Norton. Best Buy gives you a special software whenever you buy any computer from.
Right, ESET. There are so many things. ESET and McAfee and Avast. There are so many things. But
There are so many. Yes, but
what I'm saying is,
you are saying you are not using any one of those.
what I'm saying is you don't need
Because
them.
you're depending
Because
on
Microsoft,
the Windows.
you don't need them. But if you're already using them, it's fine. You can, but you cannot use both parallel, right? Once you have that software, Defender will shut itself down.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But what is your recommendation?
my recommendation is why pay extra, right? Just use.
And also, I think with
I'm paying
Windows,
almost
with
$55
Windows
every
10,
year.
everyone is, more people are just using the built-in.
Defender.
And even the organizations are recommending just use this.
Correct.
Nari, Nari, somebody, as you said, this antivirus software like Norton comes for 30 days or whatever it is, and then you have to buy it. But somebody told me that even though you don't renew it, the original one still working. Is that true?
No, I don't think so.
No, even if it works, it won't have the full protection.
Exactly.
Use it for scan and all those things. No.
Yeah, but you may. I don't know much about this, but somebody told me that the updates.
I would. If
See,
you
they will never update any new things.
Updates won't come
once it
one
expires.
Yeah, Windows. I would recommend if you just uninstall it and use Windows Defender. It is free. It is built in and it is powerful. It is. It is updated automatically, and Microsoft has really done a good job with Defender now.
Thank you.
That's a good one. I mean, it's to save you some money.
See, my aim is to save you money.
Yeah.
So, in this screen, virus and threat protection, another important thing I want to show you is ransomware protection. Set up OneDrive, right? So OneDrive has got two models, right? OneDrive for business and OneDrive for personal. I'm only talking about personal, right? So you do need a Microsoft account, right? So you can use OneDrive to back up your files, selected folders onto cloud, right? So Microsoft Cloud will back up, right? So depending on how much you have, you might have to pay some cloud fees or whatever, but it is a good thing because OneDrive has got very good protection. OneDrive files are encrypted in the cloud and they have what is called version control, right? So if your files are encrypted on your hard disk and if they are automatically backed up to the cloud, then what does it mean? It means your backup is also gone, right? Because your backup is also encrypted. So ransomware means basically they encrypt your files and they demand money to give you decryption key. That's what ransomware means, right? So if the backup is also encrypted, but OneDrive has got powerful ransomware recovery features. So one is, first of all, they detect ransomware if it is encrypted and a lot of files are getting encrypted by ransomware, they detect it and they don't lose the cloud backup. And let us say that even they didn't recognize and they lost their cloud as well, right? Then they have version control. So you can restore as of a particular date. You can restore as of yesterday. If you got a ransomware attack today, you can restore as of yesterday, right? So that you install a new PC, or you wipe out your PC, and then all you have to do is to sign on to Microsoft and download as of yesterday before encryption. You got all your files back, and it is automatic sync, right? So so Dropbox doesn't have that capability. Dropbox, it'll just take the backup. Even the backup may be encrypted, whereas OneDrive has got powerful ransomware attack features. So this is highly used in both office environments, and I would recommend use it in the home environments also for protection. Any questions on this? Okay, so just getting a couple of more detail into Defender virus scan. What are all the features, right? So one thing is, whenever you open a file, it's always checking, right, whether it has got virus, right? So it is a dynamic check is always there. But in addition, you can also do some specific folders. You can do a quick scan, or you can do a full scan. And there is something called the Microsoft Defender offline scan. So so what is the difference, right? So quick scan is for a particular folder. If you're not sure whether that is infected or something, whereas full scan, right, it goes through your full hard disk. It typically takes like half an hour or something, right? So I would recommend you do a full scan every weekend, right? So I was looking for a feature to automate this, right? So some of the work antivirus systems, they have automated scan every full scan every 7 days or something. But if whenever you remember, you can just do a full scan, right? I would recommend do that. I mean, typically if you have downloaded or opened something, then it would have been caught. But this way, you can keep up to date, right? So the other,
Ravi, I just have a question. So, you talked about like McAfee and Avast and things like that. And I bought like the minimum software from Avast, and then they keep pushing you that your internet is open or your VPN is open and things like that. And then they try to sell you like another $40, another $40 and things like that. And then from time to time, Avast will come up and say, your registries are broken. Do you want to fix your registries? And they charge you another $10. And they'll say that it'll expedite your computer or secure your files and things like that. So all that is not required?
no, I mean, as long as you follow the hygiene, right? So you don't click on random stuff, and you don't go to some unneeded sites and so on, right? So my Defender is good enough. I've been using Defender only, and I'm very happy with that. For my work, not for my work computer, but for my home computer. Yeah.
I have
So
that question, Nari, on this, how it affects your memory and so on, right? So, for example, if you have a pen drive or something that like a extended drive at your home that you plug in and plug out, could things actually attack that or pollute that?
So yeah, depending on where you collected your USB drive, right? So
okay.
so you know what happened? The Iranian nuclear power plant was attacked by USB drive. So some intelligence agencies, they dropped some USB near that facility, and they took that USB and plugged it to their computer, and the Iranian nuclear plants got infected.
Okay, I mean, let's assume like I've just bought a new USB drive or whatever drive that is, like for kind of mass storage or whatever, right? So, but I think what you're also indirectly saying is something that I might have downloaded there could also.
Yeah. So if it is brand new bought from store, I mean, there have been cases where it has been infected, but that is pretty rare. But if you have Defender, if Defender should scan.
Exactly. I'm leading up to that question. So once in a while, I do have, whenever I connect, in fact, these days, it asks me whether I should scan it. I usually opt for no, but I should opt for yes once in a while.
Yeah, better to scan. Yeah, USB drive, all those things. See, these days it's pretty dangerous world, cyber world.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Nari, one question on this Microsoft Defender. Now, other software, like I use WebRoot, actually that's called WebRoot, that is bought from Best Buy. And the advantage there is they have a team, they have a team to support you. Supposing something really goes wrong in your system because of the virus, then you can call them and they will work with you to help you get out of this. I'm
No,
not
that is
sure
a Geek
whether a
Squad, right?
problem
So
comes.
are you talking about Best Buy's Geek Squad?
Yes.
So I don't know. They may be giving some Geek Squad services for this.
Yeah, they
But
are giving you. Yeah,
but
because
Geek
if you are
Squad,
bought their
if
software,
you anybody can sign up for Geek Squad if needed. So
you
you
mean
can,
even if you are. I'm talking about with their software. I use their antivirus called WebRoot.
yeah, WebRoot is not there, right? They are just reselling it. But Geek Squad is a general service. I
Yeah,
have a
that's a
slide on
general
it.
service, but it supports their products, all their
Yeah,
products.
no,
Because
but
I bought from
I'm
them.
not saying
Yeah.
I'm not saying stop using all those things. If you have some specific advantage of some
No,
thing,
let me complete my question. My question is that definitely they when you buy from them, they give you in writing that we will support you if any problem, and I have used them and they help you. Whereas Microsoft Defender, supposing you get into some problems, do you get any support from Microsoft?
yeah, I think they do have customer service helplines. Yeah. But I have never, yeah, Microsoft, obviously they have customer service helplines for organizations. And
Yeah, but only thing is that since Microsoft is such a big client base, you may not be able to reach them. You might have to wait hours to get that.
No, I don't understand your question, but if you are
My
happy with the
question is
WebRoot, if you are
the
happy with
kind
the
of
WebRoot,
service
just
that I
continue
get
with that.
from, yeah.
Yeah, let's move on. So the next one is Microsoft Defender offline scan.
Okay.
Right? So what this means is your computer is possibly infected, so it is slow, right? So you are suddenly getting sluggish performance, or you are getting some prompts, you are suspecting that something has happened. Then your full scan is not going to discover all the problems. This is almost like a popular software called Malwarebytes, right? So, what this will do, offline scan means it will completely shut down all the processes, right? And it will reboot your computer in safe mode and do the full check, right? So it is more invasive and it is more deep than the full scan. So you can use this Microsoft Defender offline scan if you notice things like that. So if something is prompting, you don't know, something is always popping up or something, you don't know what it is, right? Then you can use, that is this option, Microsoft Defender offline scan. Okay, so moving on to like some of the facilities Windows provides with their newer laptops. They have face recognition and the fingerprint option similar to iPhone, right? So it is called Windows Hello, right? Windows Hello face recognition or Windows Hello fingerprint. So that may be both secure as well as like easy to get in, right? So if you're away from the computer, you just look at the laptop and it opens, right? Exactly like your iPhone 12 or whatever, right? So that feature is there. So you can activate, that is also supported in Windows. And also it is more secure because facial recognition is these days are pretty advanced. And this today actually I was reading that they had somebody, one of the persons arrested in the January 6th Capitol attack, right? So they wanted to check his laptop and they got court permission for him to look at his computer so that the computer will open. So with the facial recognition. So,
Naren,
yeah.
for the home laptop or home computer, if you are or your family members are the only ones using it, do you need that type of protection like the fingerprint?
Yeah, what happens if it is stolen, right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Got it.
that are Yeah, that is why you need security even for your home computer, because even if somebody steals your computer, you want to make sure that they cannot access the data,
Okay, got it.
right?
Nari, I have a question. Maybe it's off this slide, but still definitely security related. Do all the, for example, credit card companies and whatever we use as consumers, we stop paper and we start using everything paperless. So do all of them offer this what do they call it? Two-dimension authentication, right? Two-factor. Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we should request that.
most of the banks and so on, they do offer MFA. So they may not make it very explicit, but you should look for it.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay.
Nari, I have another question. May not be directly related to the topic just now you are covering, but see, I have all my files and all in a portable hard drive. I don't store anything in my computer, only in the portable. But does the computer still keep a backup copy of everything I do, even though I save it only in the portable hard drive?
No, if you save it only in the portable USB drive, hard drive, then yeah, there won't be any copy unless you copy it yourself.
Okay.
It is treated as a different drive and different folder and everything.
The USB drive also, you can set up a password if you want, I think.
Yes, so I would recommend that if you are using a USB drive, buy encrypted.
Right.
So buy a USB drive which supports encryption. So encryption will require a password, right?
Right.
And so that way, even if you lose that USB drive, your data is not lost.
Yeah. Got it.
Nari, I mean, just a question based on what Vish was asking, like if you have a portable drive, but won't you have temporary files still stored on the laptop?
Yeah, it depends, right? So he says that he's opening from his portable computer, drive, and he's saving directly back to the drive. So then there won't be any copy.
Well, okay. Follow-up question I have is somebody who hacks my home computer, and I am working with the portable drive connected, will they then still tap that information?
Yeah, if it is connected, they can access it. Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't give you any additional security. If it is not connected, obviously it gives you security. But
when I'm using it, naturally I'm connecting it anyway.
Yeah, correct. If it is connected, they can access it. As if they can get into your system, they can access it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Vish, to protect this disconnected before, when you use it, connect it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, very good. So Windows also, I'm not sure whether people know it. It does have some parental control options for people with young children. You can look at that. I haven't looked at it in detail, but I believe it works only for Edge, which I don't know how many people use Edge as the browser, but it works only for Edge. Okay, this is very important, right? So as one of the settings was firewall setting, right? I want you to make sure that the Windows firewall is turned on, right? It turned on for private and public, right? So you want to turn it on. In case it is turned off, that gives more possibility of a hacker attacking you when you're connecting to some internet. So make sure that it is turned on, right? Even if it is turned off. I believe that default is turned on, but make sure you check that. So basically that is a control panel Windows firewall, right? So, and this is also another important thing, right? So they are constantly discovering vulnerabilities in Windows, just like other platforms, right? All the other platforms, everything, they are always discovering security issues. So they are releasing patches. So you want to make sure that your computer is automatically updated with updates, right? So you make sure that it is enabled and you put it automatic, and it'll download it. And if you are connected and the particular, it's like iPhone, right? So make sure that it is updated, because these days there are so many vulnerabilities, critical vulnerabilities that can allow attackers to take over your computer, right? They are there. The recent one was called Print Nightmare. Print Nightmare is there in all the Windows 10, because if you are printing, then you have Windows printing spooler system, and that had a vulnerability. So because it is such a major one, they called it Print Nightmare, right? So you don't have to worry about all these things as long as you keep the updated, right? So you don't have to be choosy and selected update. Just put updates automatically, it will update. Make sure that you have enough hard disk space, it is not too tight, then you don't have to worry about it. Okay, coming to Mac, right? So Mac, they have, if you go to security, under settings, security and privacy, there are 4 options: general, file vault, firewall, privacy, right? So general, Mac, they have a simpler security system here, but the most important thing is firewall system, right? So firewall, you want to make sure that it is turned on, right? And then they have some privacy settings as well. Privacy, you can assign each of these different things, resources, to different applications, right? So for example, maps, whether it can access location, obviously you cannot, you have to give location access to maps, right? Weather also, right? But you don't need to give it for Skype. So similarly, it will ask you, right? Whenever, like for example, if you're installing a new software, it will ask you, do you want to give microphone access, camera access, and so on. So then you can be very granular in setting up the security on what can access what, right, in Mac. Okay, coming to password. So the first one is the most important. So what do people do? They form a password based on their children or dog or something like that, and they use the same password in all the different systems. Can somebody say what is the problem in using the same password in so many different websites?
Somebody hits it, they hit everything. Right?
Yeah. What do you mean by hit?
Once somebody cracks open one, then they'll just try that on all other assets of yours and get through.
Right. So let us say if there are 10 websites and you're using the same password in the 10 different websites, and one of the websites has been hacked and the bad guys have stolen all the passwords, right? Like it happened to major sites. It happened to Evite, right? It happened to LinkedIn, right? It happened to Yahoo. Yahoo lost billion passwords.
Yeah, that's because the hackers also are using a computer to try various passwords. That's another point.
So, yeah,
right?
if you once they know that this password is associated with you, they will go to all Amazon and they will try that password, right? So that is why you should use different passwords. For example, what I do is I actually use Chrome to select my password. So whenever I click on something, and the Chrome will prompt suggest a complicated password which I will never remember.
Yeah.
Right? I let it remember. I use Chrome Password Manager, right? So I'm going to be talking about Password Manager in the next slide, but it will automatically choose the password and it will keep it, right? So and you have to protect your Chrome with the 2-factor authentication and so on, right? So that is how you protect your password.
Okay, got it. Okay.
How does it work if you have an app on your iPhone and you're signing in? Will Chrome kick in?
So it depends on the app, right? App will have most of the apps will go to website and then collect the password. So yeah, I mean that is slightly difficult. So you have to go to Chrome, get the password and type it in. Probably.
Correct. Okay.
But in Chrome, you can see the password. You can see the password if needed. But iPhone also I use Chrome, so that way it is synced. If for web access.
Yeah, anything I'm accessing through Chrome, it will work.
Correct.
But if I have any
If I use
app on the
Safari
iPhone,
or if I use an app, you might have to type in. Yeah, there is like even Apple has got the Key Vault, but Key Vault is only for Apple ecosystem, and it won't work for Chrome, right? So Chrome,
so what is the browser? Which browser is the safest?
So Deepak, can you go on mute, please? Yeah.
I was going to say something. There is a password, application that stores the password like OnePass or LastPass.
Yeah.
That's the Bitwinder. I use Bitwinder, which is
Yeah, that is fine. I have it in the next slide. Yeah.
it's on iPhone also.
Yeah.
So you can take it anywhere.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so the next point. Sorry, Sridhar, did you have anything else?
No, it's okay. Right?
Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, let us move on to so passphrases, right? So never have like a single word password, right? Because then it will be subject to a dictionary attack. So now always combine some unrelated words which are relevant to be combined only in your mind, right? So you will know the combination. So normally use at least 2 words, unrelated words, and then put some numbers and special characters if you are choosing your own password, if you are not asking the system to remember, right? Then if you are keeping the passwords in an Excel or Word file or something, don't keep it in plain text file, right? So if you are keeping passwords yourself, then make sure that you use encryption of the Word file or Excel file with a password, right? So Microsoft Office has got a password protection feature which automatically encrypts that. So use that, and definitely avoid sticky notes, right, with the passwords. And don't use your passwords based on the home information, your wife or children or dogs or something like that. And don't use words that can be found in any dictionary of any language, because people can use dictionary attacks. Don't use adjacent keyboard combinations, and don't store it in plain text.
So Nari, if you lose your Chrome file, that Chrome password for safety file that you're storing all that over there, for some reason you're not able to access that, then you lose all your passwords.
So Chrome is linked to your Google password, right? So Google password, you can protect it with the 2-factor authentication, and you have to set up alternate recovery methods. You have to you can set up multiple recovery methods for your Google password. So Chrome password is controlled by your Google account.
Yeah.
So you can retrieve it by your phone, or maybe you can give your daughter your as daughter's email as a recovery email, right? So you can use your daughter's email to reset the password.
Okay, and if somebody hacks your password file, then you had it.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah. No, but that is true. So that is why you might want to spend some money like Deepak and buy. I think he was mentioning Bitwarden, right? So these are all some popular ones: Keeper, LastPass, Dashlane, Bitwarden. Sorry,
Bitwarden is free.
Bitwarden is free. Okay.
It's open source.
But Bitwarden, does it have multi-factor authentication to retrieve?
I think it has.
You have to make sure that whatever password manager you're using, it has got multi-factor authentication. Otherwise, if you're
LastPass also has a free version, but
LastPass is also.
but it doesn't have all the capabilities like multi-factor. Yeah.
I just want you to be aware of all these things, because sometimes when I do some things, I'm exaggerating and all those things. I'm not following a lot of these things. I'm not familiar with a lot of these things, but at least being aware of it.
Yeah, good. Okay. So yeah, I think we talked about this. So this will help you to keep track of passwords because you're typically everybody will have 50, 60 passwords. Right. So how do you discover whether your account or password has been compromised in some website, right? Say like, for example, you used a password in linkedin.com and LinkedIn was compromised. So, right, so there is a site called Have I Been Pawned, right? This is a free system, right? So you can go to haveibeenforpawned.com and you can put your email address and click pawned, right? So then it will tell you whether your email was involved in any of the data breaches. They have like 15 to 20 billion breached passwords. They to keep track. So they will tell you, for example, if you put there, then they will tell you that okay, your all these systems which you are using, your password was lost, right? So 8fit in July 2018, it suffered a data breach, right? So you can either search by email address or you can search by password also. You can just type a password and it will tell you whether that password is has been ever involved in breach. If it is a common password, there will be a lot of places. So I would strongly recommend all of you later on to go and check it out. Your email addresses and passwords. Before setting up a new password also, you can go to Have I Been Pawned and check, not associated with you, but with anybody else, right? Because people take this 15 billion password and try to crack your password. So that is what they do. Because see, your passwords are stored in a hash format. Hash is sort of a one-way encryption, right? So it is not a plain text, but hashed password can be cracked. Or if there is a hash, if they have the hash of the 15 billion passwords, they can just match the hash and that way they can detect your password. So that is why it is very important not to use the same password in multiple locations, and also to keep track of it in Have I Been Pawned.
Changing it every 90 days or so also, right? That way nobody's.
So the latest recommendation from NIST, National Institute of Standards, is actually as long as you have like a complex password, right? Which is a passphrase related, and you make sure that it is not breached in Have I Been Pawned or something, you don't have to change it. So that is the latest recommendation, but many workplaces, they still require you to change the password.
And the two factor is always a great idea, I think. Right? I mean, as long as it's possible to do it for whatever sites you're using.
Yeah.
Because you have an iPhone or something and it sends you something, so it's really, unless somebody stole your iPhone. But anyway.
Okay, so I think we have talked enough about passwords. Then let us talk about VPN. So VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. So this is very common in office situations, but you can use it at home also. Basically, sorry, Bish, can you go on mute, please? So the client is your PC at home, right? So you have your server is offering the website, right? Then you have a connection. So now you have normally connection, you are connected to the local network, and then you have public network, internet, and then again another local network and going there. Whereas a virtual private network, it offers you an encrypted channel through another service directly. So that way, all the way the traffic is encrypted and people cannot snoop into it, right? So that is the main purpose of VPN, right? So it's a private and secure channel because it is encrypted traffic. So some of the most popular home VPNs, I actually put a slide here on different VPN. I'm not sure whether you can read it. NordVPN, ExpressVPN, all those things. They are the most popular ones. This one you have to pay. Don't go to a free VPN solution, right? Because then they might actually hack you. So just use the standard ones. This is why do we need that? People use it for two reasons, right? So one is encryption. Another is maintaining your privacy by hiding your IP address. So for example, if you want to watch some Indian channel or something, some people use the Indian VPN so that people, the TV will think, service provider will think that you are coming from an Indian IP, right? So a lot of people use VPN for that purpose as well, for watching their home, because some things are geo specific, right? So if it is available only in certain location, you can choose an IP address which is in that country. So that is another reason. But this is a cybersecurity session. The main purpose is the encryption, right?
Yeah.
So
I see some funny names there, Nari, in that graph. It's interesting.
yeah,
Anyway.
right. Yeah, I wouldn't risk because they may be stealing the traffic. So just because it is cheap, VPN don't go cheap, right?
Yeah.
I normally recommend everything cheap. People know it. VPN, you want to be careful because they can watch all your traffic. Whoever is selling you the service can watch all the traffic. So how do you select it? Physical servers in many countries. Maintain your privacy. Make sure that they are secure. No logging or selling of your data. Right? We don't want somebody to capture all your data to sell to somebody, right? And available in several platforms: Windows, Mac, iOS, Android. And license allows multiple devices that you need at a single price. And we'll be talking about Griffon later, but I will mention at that time. So then next one is Chrome browser privacy setting, right? So they have some option called new incognito window. Basically what it means is they will obscure your IP. So the website will not be able to track you by IP, right? So that is the main purpose of incognito, right? So I mean, I don't know whether how much it is. I think Google still tracks all your activity. So then they have this Chrome settings, privacy and security. Under privacy, security is actually under privacy, and they have some features. Enhanced protection. I would recommend go to this Chrome settings, security, and make sure that you are under enhanced protection, right? So there are more security settings. You can, I have given a link here. I can share this later on. So it has got all these things. So you can look at all these things. Okay. So we talked about laptop security. Now let us briefly touch upon mobile security, right? So these days, most of the transactions are done by mobile, and people don't care about their mobile security, right? So basically, they are not aware. Now with Pegasus, I think probably more people are aware, but there are so many threats. So there are so many threats which are possible, right? So for example, the Stingray. Does anybody know what Stingray is? So Stingray is actually a fake cell phone tower, right? So in if you have office, right, a lot of phones are there, and then you set up a Stingray, you can collect a lot of phone conversations and text messages and everything. You can simulate a cell tower, right? You can copy all the data, right? So that is called Stingray. So that is a fake cell phone tower. Then Wi-Fi MITM rogue app. Does anybody know what MITM is? So MITM stands for man in the middle, right? So man in the middle means, so there is party A communicating to party B, then party X interposes themselves in between party A and B and steals the traffic, and they still keep passing it on. So people don't know that they are getting snooped, right? But so that is called the man in the middle attack. That is a very common in cybersecurity, right? So they interpose themselves between you and the other party, and then they steal the traffic. So there are so many. Bluetooth also is not very secure. NFC, all those things can be used to attack. Command and control. Does anybody know what command and control means? Basically, it's also abbreviated as CNC. So CNC means bad guys have taken over your computer or phone, whatever, right? And they are controlling it. All the traffic is going to some CNC website. So whatever is happening on your PC or phone is being copied to this fake malicious website. So those are called the CNC websites. Data exfiltration is copying the data out of your phone. Malicious phishing link, all those things are possible, right? Credential theft is the password. Credential means passwords, right? Malicious app, which is the malware. So all these threats are there in mobile, but people are not cognizant of those threats. So you can follow some of the basic techniques, right? So same thing what we talked about in phishing. Don't click on unknown links in emails or texts or WhatsApp, right? So be careful clicking on some random stuff, right? And use longer pins or patterns in Android. Touch ID and Face ID. Face ID is most secure, and Touch ID is less than that. It is still secure. And pins are, 4-digit pin is easily crackable.
But not everybody offers, Face ID.
Correct. So, and then you can also activate, if I'm talking iPhone here, I'm sure there is similar in Android. I'm not that familiar with Android. So activate Find My app, right? So this you should definitely track all your iOS devices. You can track which are linked to your account, iCloud account. You can track it. So even at home, if you misplace your phone, you can locate it. Or if you genuinely lost that phone, you can wipe it. You can use.
Yeah, I find most convenient Apple Watch and Apple iPhone. So Apple, they are both linked. So anytime my phone is, I just press Apple Watch, immediately tells me where is my phone.
Correct. So, but if you have iPad and so on, right? So you can use Find My app to track everything. And don't jailbreak your phone, right? Never jailbreak your iPhone for installing some rogue software. You are inviting trouble. And download apps only from trusted stores like Apple Store, App Store, Apple App Store, or Google Play or something. And don't download from random apps. And make sure that your backup is turned on, is working, right? So go to your settings and backup, make sure that it is actually working. Sometimes if you don't have enough storage in your iCloud account, then it will stop working. You wouldn't even know about it unless you go there. If you have some important data, otherwise you don't have to. And always keep the operating system and apps auto updated, so you don't have to worry about it. And we talked about VPN, and also we will talk briefly about MFA, how it can be broken also if you use SMS. So if you are really concerned about your security of your phone, then there are some software like Lookout. Lookout is the most popular. You can look at that. It does have some good capabilities, and Avast we already talked about. Avast also has got mobile security. These two are the top mobile security solutions that can be looked at. Yeah, let us, based on some request from Vinod, I included a slide on Pegasus, how it works, right? So the attack vectors, Pegasus can be installed on a phone through vulnerabilities in common apps or by tricking a target into clicking a malicious link. Right? SMS, WhatsApp, iMessage, some unknown vulnerabilities. So the phone thing, voice thing, I think it was a vulnerability in phone app, but that has been fixed, I believe. So currently they cannot use the voice to infiltrate, but as of now, see as of 14.7 got released 2 days back, right? 14.6, this 0-day, 0-click attack. That means 0-day means this sort of attack is not known, right? So only if the attack is known, the software providers like Apple, they can stop it, right? 0-day means nobody has discovered this. The attackers have discovered and they are using it. So that is the NSO group. That is what they discovered, this vulnerability, and they are using that 0-day attack. And 0-click means you are getting a text and you don't even have to click on it, right? So that one is currently not still blocked, right? So if other people know about it, they can also use it, right? But I'm sure Apple is feverishly working on fixing that vulnerability. If you really want details about this is a very interesting report by Amnesty International. They have a very detailed report on forensic methodology. They show all type of attacks, Pegasus over the years. Pegasus is not new, right? Pegasus has been there for years. And they whenever they have been discovering and using a thing, Apple has been fixing their vulnerabilities, right? So that is one of the reasons I'm saying you should automatically update Apple operating systems to the latest, because you don't know what vulnerabilities are there. So I'm still mad that some people keep using old operating systems. So
yeah,
currently,
but I think it is working through some very special updates that they've done.
So if you are interested, you can go into this and they give you a lot of technical details, but you will need a technical background to understand that.
But what they're saying is that if it gets into your iPhone, there's no way you can remove it. You have to change your phone.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I'm sure most people are not familiar with your privacy settings. What I recommend is go to myactivity.google.com and they have so much information about yourself. They track all the websites that you visited, all those things, right? So you can take control of the history, what Google can see using this myactivity.google.com. And so identity theft. So there is a website maintained by FTC, right? It is called identitytheft.gov, and that actually they provide some good tips, not only from recovery, but also like how to protect your identity from being stolen. And this has been issued by a European organization called ID Protection. I thought they had a good checklist as well. So I will share this slide. So they are talking about reviewing your credit reports and, be careful at ATMs and shredder and all those things. Skimming device, right? So skimming device, that constantly happens, right? So like last month I filled up gas and the next day somebody used that credit card in Maine or somewhere, right? So and then I had to change my credit card, but there is no way for us to look at that. But and then I stopped filling up at that gas station. Okay, so let us talk about home computer backup, right? So I would recommend OneDrive, right? So OneDrive or encrypted USB drives also we talked about. Dropbox, Google Drive also can be used for backup. Google Drive also has got the app which you can install in your Windows PC. And then there are some, if you need more comprehensive backup solutions, Carbonite or iDrive, these two are some of the popular ones. And if you want to take a full image backup, Acronis has got a very good backup solution. And this is just another, this is not strictly cybersecurity, but to protect your computers, I would recommend that you connect all your systems through a surge protector, right? You buy an expensive one here. What you need to look for is clamping voltage, 330 volt or lower, right? So it wouldn't pass anything more than that. And energy that can be absorbed, 600 joules or more than 1000 is better, right? And obviously long power cord, it gives you more flexibility, more outlets. So if you have a lot of computer equipment and printer and everything, just buy a good surge protector. It will save you from the computer from burning out. And because most of us are working from home, I thought this slide summarizes some of the things that we talked about in terms of threats, phishing. We talked about personal devices, ransomware, fraudulent calls, all those things. They have got a good checklist here. Install the latest updates on your device. We talked about that. Antivirus, so that we talked about Defender. 2FA, we are going to be talking quite a bit about it. VPN, we talked about it. Lock your devices if left unattended. Watch out for phishing emails. Encrypt your device hard drive also, right? So Windows comes with standard encryption, so BitLocker, so you can use that. Avoid public Wi-Fi, right? So that is actually a good one. So VPN goes hand in hand with public Wi-Fi. I would strongly recommend, if you are in airport or somewhere, don't use their airport Wi-Fi. Just use your phone's hotspot, right? That is the best way. So if you use the public Wi-Fi, then make sure that you have VPN. Otherwise, your data can be definitely stolen. And never leave devices unattended. Sensitive. So this is work related. Okay, so I think that is the last slide in section 1, which is taken as almost hour and a half. So I don't think we will continue today with the remaining things, because that will take thing. That is why I anticipated that. That is why in the invite I put 1 of 2. So
superb coverage. Sorry, superb. Thank you.
Yeah. No. Any questions?
Nari, one quick question. You said airport don't use their public Wi-Fi, but use the phone hotspot.
Yeah.
But my question is, I'm not using laptop at the airport, but I'm using my
Right.
phone.